Mia, hello.
Hi.
Hi. Um, so this here is Dan.
Hi.
Dan is a returning member of our team down at the pier via the Senior Citizen Tax Abatement Program.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And Dan helped a lot with the moorings last year, but he was asking me who's on the harbor committee, and I was listing people, and then I got to you, and here you are. Do you want to introduce yourself to Dan? Because I realized that I know you work in accounting, but I didn't know much more about you.
Yeah. My name's Mia Cliggett-Perlt. I moved to Provincetown when I was 13. I went to Nauset High. I went away for college and then came back, and I manage an accounting office in here in town. My high school and college job was one of the managers at Flyers Boatyard.
Oh, great.
Mm-hmm. This is Friday, April 20th. And Mia, what do you do for fun? Like in the winter when you're on travel, for example?
So in the winter, I like to ski, not this year because I broke my leg skiing last year, but I have my pass for next year. And I just read a lot, do a lot of puzzles, cook, hang out with my friends. And in the summer, I bike a lot and go to Long Point at least once a week, but sometimes twice. But
And you help run the harbor.
yes. And my family spends every Sunday on Long Point.
Nice.
So yeah. Those are
My wife and I have a place down here, but I
nice.
retired last June from the state, so
Oh, great. Okay.
Pete got stuck with me in the Adopt a Senior program, so he got the short end of the stick.
Every time Dan comes and helps out, I realize that there's more stuff that I'm going to be giving him. So he doesn't realize it yet, but this is the snowball's rolling downhill.
I am retired.
You keep telling me that.
Yeah, sorry.
No, we're pulling you back.
Yeah. Just doing this for fun. Well, that sounds like a nice background, especially working at Flyers. That must have been really interesting.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was very chaotic, but in a good way.
Sure.
And it was really fun that half of my employees were children. So that was
children, yeah.
That was very fun.
I've watched those so many times when I went rent a pontoon from Flyers. A very earnest 15-year-old would give me the this is how a pontoon boat works, and I would always stand there and go, oh, that's great, tell me more, what about this? Thanks so much for the lesson. I don't want to telling people that what they're talking about is not helpful, I think, and I always loved the crew down there.
Okay, Michaela just texted me. She's joining shortly.
Great. And I think Michael's going to join as well.
Okay.
Yep, she texted me too.
Are you looking to update the harbor regulations?
We certainly are. We're always, it is a living document that meets the needs of our present and future voters, but it was written by past voters. Yeah. And so it always must be updated.
It looks like it was amended the last time on May 2022.
That's my understanding as well. Maria, hello.
Hello.
I am so sorry for the tech issues. I do think my Teams is not set up the right way, but I can hear you now, and you are on speakerphone, and you've got Mia and Jennifer. Can you hear us over there?
I can, yes. Yep.
Okay, great. And I know Michaela is dialing in too, but she is also. I'll let her know she's welcome to call me too, so I can add both of you this way.
Maria said she's trying to do it, but it's not working for her. Just to call in, not the
Yeah.
Teams. Okay.
Yep. The configuration on my Teams account is handled centrally, unfortunately, and it issued me a number and then took back the number, but didn't give me a new number. And unfortunately, the town hall staff are out right now, so out for the afternoon. Maria, I'm going to put you on a brief hold. I'll be right with you.
Okay.
Hi there. Now I'm adding you in. Awesome. We got Noah Santos, member of the public, joining as well. And let me add Michaela. Dan, can I borrow your phone? Yeah. Thanks, sir. Mia, do you mind texting Michaela and letting her know I'm calling her from a different number?
Came up as spam.
Yeah. 7. Great, thank you.
Good at dealing with things on the fly.
You break stuff, you have to get good at fixing it. Okay, I just texted Michaela the number I'm calling her from. Try her again. Yeah, leave this open. Ticket issued. They took my permission away.
It's Friday afternoon.
Yeah, of course. It had, well, we've not gabbled it into order. We're still in the joining phase. You must hold your public comment. Has anyone who has perhaps texted Michaela heard from her? Let me try her. In the absence of the chair, what is the protocol?
Vice chair, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know I was on mute. No, yeah, if Michaela doesn't join, I would share as long as we have a quorum. And if Maria's on the phone, then we do have a quorum. So it's because she's having issues joining the meeting, right? It's not that she can't.
She indicated to me that she would be able to, and she was just texting a few of us a few minutes ago that she was trying to join.
Because what I was also gonna say is that I mean, this will take another second, but I could just send a Zoom link from my work account to that same email thread.
I'm sorry, Maria, did you say something?
All right.
You did not get a text? Yeah, okay. Yeah, she was texting me back a second ago. I'm not sure where she is now, if she was able to, still trying to join. I think that's the thing about switching to Zoom, is that would get us all connected without this phone bridge. But if we can all hear with the phone bridge, I don't have any visual slides on my end, and so we can have a sort of discussion focused meeting. But
whatever you prefer.
Yeah, well, I'm just your staff liaison, so I leave it to the members of the Harbor Committee.
All right, well, now my Zoom login isn't even working, so that's great.
Maria, were you better able to hear Mia just now?
Try it again, ma'am.
I can hear you, yeah. Can she hear me?
I can sort of hear you. A little bit, yeah.
What? All right, well, so should we just get started and hopefully Michaela can join, or should we do the Zoom thing? I'm indifferent. As long as Noah and Maria can hear me.
Yeah, I can barely hear.
Okay. I will send a link.
Thank you, Mia. So Maria and Noah, Mia's going to send a Zoom link, and that will include both a web and a dial-in, right, Mia?
Yeah.
Yep. So let's adjourn now and close this out, and then
Are you breaking any open meeting laws by having a different login than what you sent to everybody else, or not that?
That's a good question.
What's the question?
Just curious. I think
That is, yeah.
Although it says that it's on Zoom, is there one actually going on in the town hall too, or no?
No, the town hall is closed. It's Friday afternoon.
Yeah, so I mean, if it's virtual and you sent out a thing saying that you need to log on this thing, then I feel like you probably.
Yeah, I can keep the Teams open in the corner and see if anyone joins it.
Yeah, that is an issue. I mean, technically, we have to use the link that was posted.
Okay. And Noah and Maria, you guys can't get Teams on your phone. It seems like, and Jennifer, you have Teams on your phone, right?
No, I'm on an iPad.
Too much effort.
Too much effort. Ooh, what if I send you a web link and you don't install the app? Then you can just use Teams on your web link and it might sound better.
Okay, that sounds fun.
It won't let me download it.
Okay, yeah, no need to download anything. Let me get you guys on mobile web link. Perfect. Okay, give me one. I just double checked that it's possible, and it is.
Okay. Got it. Mic is on.
Hi, Marty.
Hi, everybody. Sorry for being late.
No
No,
worries.
you haven't missed much.
Okay.
Hey, everybody.
Okay. Noah and Maria, texting you the Teams invite link, and press and hold it on your phone and choose the open in web. Or you can copy that link and paste it into, Safari or Chrome on your browser. And then if it asks you if you want to open it in the app, say no. And if that all does not work because it keeps kicking you to the app, which it might try to do, they're very pushy about their app. They love their app. Then this, I'm going to get you the second link I just sent you. Will let you go to a website and then enter the Teams link, the meeting ID manually. And I'm sending you that right now. Thank you for your patience. That's the meeting ID, and this is the passcode. How's that working out, Noah?
All right, Maria's here.
Special.
I see Maria's joined. Maria, can you hear us over the Teams? She just hung up on my phone, so Noah, that leaves you out.
You got to hang up. Let me try to hang up and see if that works.
Okay, feel free to call me back, Noah, and I'll just put you on speaker.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, Maria's gone now.
In the future, you're going to use Zoom or Google Meet because I have licenses for those and they work.
Noah's here, I think.
Made it. I'm here.
He's here.
All right,
All right.
now what? Maria's back.
All right. And we still have no Michaela, right?
I've not heard from her via text. Let me try her on the phone one more time and see if.
All right, well, I'll start anyways. All right, so welcome to the April 5th, 2025 meeting of the Provincetown Harbor Committee. It is a virtual meeting. I don't need to read all that because everyone who's here knows how to join. But in accordance with Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023, this meeting will be conducted virtually only in accordance with applicable law. All right, we don't need to go through that. All right, first of all, public comment from anyone who is not on the committee. Noah, any public comments?
Yes.
Yes. All right.
I would like to request that you guys find a different time to meet because 2 o'clock is very inconvenient. 4 o'clock would be better, I think. 6 o'clock is too late, but 2 o'clock is a little rough in the middle of the workday. And then
on Wednesday, right? Not Friday.
Yeah, I mean, whatever day, as long as, I mean, it just would be nice to be able to finish your work day and then not have to be like skipping a couple hours of work.
Yeah, the issue is our usual chair goes to work at 3 o'clock, which is why we've always met at 2.
Oh, fun.
Would
okay.
mornings be better for people? So you can start your workday with us, Noah? As much fun as that sounds.
Oh, maybe. That would be awesome. Anyway, okay, well, if that's the problem, that's the problem.
But we'll talk it out.
Okay. And I'd also like to say, I don't know, they're putting in the courtesy float. That looks really interesting. It looks extremely underbuilt, but I guess we'll see how it works out. And yeah, anyway, and then on my second note would be the moorings. I know that you guys have been trying to investigate maybe the town purchasing and then having renting their own moorings, and I would definitely say that you'd be impeding on all of us that are trying to make a living trying to do that. And it would make it a lot less appealing for us to be in business here, I would say. It'd be like the town getting involved in real estate, which they did at Harbor Hill, which didn't work out very well. So that's just my 2 cents. Anyway, thank you very much for your time.
All right. Any other public comment? I don't think so, but I'll give it a sec. Nope. All right. So do you want to give your report, Pete?
Sure. So, because I knew it would be virtual and have a lot of folks joining by phone, I don't have visuals for it. I'll put the agenda items on the screen and we can go through them. But if you are just listening, then you're not missing anything here.
Included.
So, harbor activity report to start. It has been, as always, a busy 2 weeks here on the harbor. A lot of the fishing fleet is back and active, and a lot of transients are back because the NOAA reopened some scallop fishing areas, including one near us on the backside. So we've had a lot of good activity there, and have been making ice for folks and getting transient tie-ups, and so it's been good to see that activity. We also, the dolphin fleet began running at least once a day trips that I've noticed. And so we're getting, folks walking up and down the pier with the nice weather. And as Noah said, the big activity today is the new courtesy float is going in. And so and it's being, I think, assembled all day today. It might be a multi-day endeavor, but look forward to a longer and certainly prettier courtesy float soon. Anything else harbor-wise that folks are curious about or noticed or have questions about? Cool. Vessel update. You'll recall I said last week that M1's in the water and the other 2 boats that will go in the water soon are still on land pending the right time to commission and launch them. We're still waiting on that. We haven't launched them yet, but they will still go in the next couple weeks. The 2 boats that are ours by virtue of being abandoned, we are getting the paperwork ready and writing the auction notices. They're going to go up on a website called Municibid, MUNICIBID. It is how other town departments have sold surplus vehicles to the public. And so that's kind of like the place that hosts the auction. But we're also going to publicize the auction dates and the link to go look at the listings widely on the town's social media and website. And I'm going to, of course, email you all a link and let you know when it's live. And I just want everyone to spread it around and give everyone in town a chance to kick the virtual tires. I'm also very happy, and probably should, anyway, set some windows where we'll move the boats to the new courtesy float so folks can come look at them in person as they consider placing a bid. Any feedback or thoughts on that process that would make it better, fairer, faster, smarter? Nope. Cool. Moorings update. Good time to introduce the person sitting next to me. This is Dan Sardo. Dan is a returning member of our senior citizen tax abatement volunteer program. So he is spending dozens and dozens of hours with the harbor team this summer. Last year, he was very helpful with getting folks in the mooring program. It was new last year, and so there was a lot of confusion about how it worked. Dan was very helpful and very patient, helping folks update their moorings and get all that stuff squared away. So he's continuing to help with that this year. He's also going out with me in the boat to inspect moorings, and he will continue that good work. He's also hopefully going to be able to be with me during these meetings, so he can also capture follow-up and, help with that process. But this is Dan. Dan, do you want to say something about your previous activity and what brings you here?
I retired in June. I managed all the grants and contracts for the Massachusetts Department of Energy Resources, so looking for something that was interesting. My wife and I own a place in the East End, and we spend a lot of time down here now, and I was looking for something interesting and fun to do not a full-time job. I'm not looking for, I'm retired, but, and so far it's been great. And, I love this town. So, and there were a lot of problems with the mooring program last year. I actually came in beginning of July, so I was doing more cleanup. So hopefully things, and I know Katie's been working really hard on it to begin with, and I think things are likely to go more smoothly now. But that's the hope.
Awesome. And I could give a quick sort of status report on where we are in the renewals process. As I'm paging around, did my screen change? Can you guys still see what I'm sharing?
Yep.
Great. So over 100 people, looks like 125 have applied for renewal so far. We've fully checked and reviewed 18 of those, and we're clocking away at the rest of them as they come in. 315 people have received the renewal email but haven't completed it yet. For various reasons, 5 applications were rejected, but usually it's because they're missing something, and so they're reattaching, insurance that matches, etc. 1 was canceled, 4 on an unknown status, and we're figuring out what that means in the software program. But other than that, this is the view of the mooring situation. Staffing update. We are about halfway through our interviews for our summer staff. We have a mix of folks who are returning and new folks we have very highly qualified applicants. It's been great to meet these folks. And we look to have a finalized slate and draft staffing plan for probably by the next meeting in 2 weeks' time. And people will start very shortly thereafter. And so we'll be doing training, and I'd like to bring them to a meeting too, so you can kind of meet all the faces here. And of course, come down anytime you'd like as well. But we're looking to have very qualified folks with a mix of previous experience and great vessel handling skills, as well as other necessary skills like maintenance and even like Dan, who has a lot of experience managing grants and programs with the state. So it's a good mix. On the budget update side, I'd hoped in this meeting to include Nick Robertson, but as he works for the town hall side of things, they don't work on Fridays afternoon, and so we're going to include him in the next meeting to go through the 4 broad areas of funding that the harbor benefits from, and how we can learn more and help inform those decisions. Harbor regulations review. That was a topic we put on so that I could ask your folks' opinion on what the review process should look like. For example, I know that the harbor regs and the pier regs are written by 2 separate committees, and how have we reviewed them and updated them in the past, and what would you like to do this year?
Well, I think it's too late to make new ones for this year.
Oh, sorry. Yes. So we're not the no changes in this seasonal cycle, but we start the process of reviewing this year to hopefully advocate for changes for next year.
There are also some that were supposed to have been put in that weren't put in. And I'll have to get the date of that meeting. We're supposed to change the tie-up time for transient to 4 hours, and people are supposed to be leaving their motors down and not lifting them on the dinghy dock. And neither one of them made it into the regulations. The price bases made it in.
Maria, do you know where we could find the documentation on that? Because that was before my time.
It was the public hearing. It was a pure core public hearing, I believe, in March. I had it written down and I can't find it. But it was a pure core public meeting in 2024. And there is no minutes on it. You just have to watch the video. And it's at the end of the video. It was the one where we were trying to limit the size.
Yeah.
And we ended up coming up with not limiting the size, although we should have. And we cut down the hours. Not that it matters. And we were supposed to keep motors in.
Yeah. And I know we
propellers in.
Yeah. We also talked about this at our last meeting. So I wonder if there's Maybe
Because even
Michaela,
Jamie was surprised that it didn't make it in. Jamie.
yeah, but it never made it in.
Yeah.
Well, Pete, could you possibly, because Michaela's relatively good at keeping records of stuff, so could you possibly send her an email
Sure.
just on the subject of the, was that a harbor reg or?
It was a peer core meeting.
Okay, but it's
Public, I'm gonna try to look it up.
Yeah.
What was it?
If you can just, no, go ahead, Maria. Go ahead.
I'm gonna try to look it up while we're
Okay.
doing. Well,
But Pete, if you could email Michaela about that, because I know she also talked about that last meeting with Maria too.
I will certainly do so. And Dan and I can also put heads together here and see if we can find records of that. For example, is it who actually holds the drafting of the regs?
So it's under. I'm gonna find the exact date. It's on PTV, and it's the Public Peer Corps public hearing in 2024. I just forget the date. And it was about regulations. It was a dinghy dock taxi meeting about taxis on the pier and about the dinghy dock.
Do you know what month that might have been, or what?
That's what I'm trying to remember. I had it written down, and do you think I can find it?
So it's bored.
What's that?
Yeah, well, I don't want to have you guys watch me not find it on the internet. We'll take that away, and we'll be sure we'll get it. Yeah, that's helpful, Maria. We can just look at every peer core meeting in 24. There can't have been that many of them, right? Or is it before? Did they meet monthly?
I'm trying to find it right now. I'll find it. Are you guys still there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
we don't need to find it now. We can just make sure that Pete knows which one. In terms of going back to your question, Pete, though, in terms of, did you say who is actually like holds the drafting? That
it would be it's the pier regulations, and it would be under the dinghy dock.
No, that's not what I'm asking, Maria. I'm asking who actually would make the drafting changes.
I guess at the time it would have been the Peer Corps.
Okay.
And it was done. It just didn't go in.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of our harbor regulations, I think that would be you, Pete, but I don't know. I joined the harbor committee when we didn't really have a harbor master that was involved at all. So
right.
I'm happy to draft. I believe you as a committee submit them to the select board.
So yeah, so that's how it would work. My idea.
This was the public pier. I think it was February 21st, 2024. I think this was the one.
I don't see a pier. The PTV website is. Well, there were 2 hearings in September, 1 in October.
2024? Well, yeah.
Yeah. 1 in December.
And it would be under the public pier, Provincetown Public Peer Corps, not under the peer committee.
Oh. Helpful, thank you. All months. Yeah, 2 in Feb. Looks like there was a February 23rd meeting. Or 22nd. They were posted the 23rd, but the 22nd and 21st. Does that sound right?
I have the 23rd. It says a special meeting. I think that was the one. Because it was off season and it was for the coming season.
Yep. Well, you've helped me find where on the PTV website all of these recordings are. And so with God as my witness, I will find where the vote was taken.
I think it's February 23rd, and it's near the end of the meeting.
Got it. I see it right here on my screen. So, and Maria, I'll confirm with you over email after the meeting that I have truly found it.
Okay.
So you can confirm with me that it's the one you're thinking of.
Okay.
And because it was previously voted on, I'm happy to use as our standard operating procedure this year those changes, even if the like PDF on the website, not many of the dinghy duck people go to the website and read the 50-page PDF when they're putting their engines up or down. So I'm happy for our staff to make those regulations work in practice and educate people about them, even if we haven't updated the website. So
are we still talking about doing signs?
Yes, absolutely.
Did you hear from that boat with the wheels on it that's on the pier still?
I've not heard from any of the
Okay.
folks who have dinghies on the pier.
You had told me that if I got in touch with them, if they weren't gone by that following Monday at 5:30, they were going to go to the DPW. So one of the guys.
Would you like me to do that?
I mean, it's an abandoned boat on the dock. It would be 2 abandoned boats on the dock.
There's one right now.
I don't want to see somebody lose their boat, but how much are we gonna? I mean, it's abandoned. This is the second time this person has.
Okay. If you, yep, I hear you. It sounds like you know that this boat is not.
I mean, I don't know. They didn't. I sent them a message and they said they were going to call you and they didn't. They also have never had a dinghy dock permit.
Okay.
And the people that work on the pier should be. This is what.
Yep, we haven't started the summer staff yet, and because there's been no like reason to move on that boat right now because it's not blocking anyone, because the pier is not currently being filled with dinghies. But I will take action before the next meeting so that. Go ahead.
It's just not even it's nothing is ever enforced ever, which is what I've been saying. And I know I sound like a broken record, but I really thought, oh my God, we're actually going to do things. And then it's still there. And we're selling.
I hear you loud and clear. Give me, and I'll put action into words for you, and I'll show you it's enforced.
Because other people are already telling me, like, when nothing is done, then nobody will follow the rules. Nobody gets a sticker, so nobody gets a sticker. Last year, people had beach boat permit stickers on the dinghy dock. And then somebody just said to me, oh, I'm going to get a beach boat permit. And I was like, this is all about revenue for the pier. Like, I thought we were trying to do.
I hear you. I hear the frustration.
And it's just like my frustration level was, yeah. Okay, thank you.
No worries. We will take action.
That's all I got. And then I look like an asshole because I'm the one complaining about it. And
I won't tell anybody.
I mean, everybody knows. But if the job would just get done down there, and the other one, I mean, there would be 2. And if I wasn't constantly complaining, we'd be starting the season with 2 abandoned boats. Like I said to Jamie this winter, and she said, what do you want me to do about it? I mean, It's just, yeah.
I'm making a note now. It'll be gone.
Right. I mean, we're already selling permits, so the dock should be ready. Thank you.
You got it. From a drafting process, when you folks, have you worked previously with the peer committee? Have you had a joint meeting? Would it be useful to suggest putting one together?
Well, so this is what I need clarification on. Is there, and this is just because I haven't been on the committee long enough, and basically our entire committee hasn't been here that long, other than Maria and Michaela have some more experience. Are there separate harbor regulations and pier regulations?
Yes.
So in theory, we would only be responsible for drafting the harbor regs.
Right.
That's my understanding.
Okay. But so these changes that you're talking about, Maria, that was in the pier regs.
Right, but it still affects the dinghy dock.
Right, yeah, no, of course, which is why those changes need to be made for this season, since they technically already been
Yeah.
voted on and should have been implemented last season. But so I mean, so the goal would be to basically go through this and review it, edit it, and add anything we think should be in there. Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's us or the pier. I feel like that's the pier.
Well, for the harbor
It's-
regulations,
But I don't know.
us, but
Right.
for the
The harbor-
pier regs, it's the pier. Right?
Right.
One thing
Yeah.
I think might work is if and Michaela had mentioned this in the last meeting that she'd be willing to lead the like regulation subcommittee.
Yeah, I mean, it could definitely be a subcommittee. That's what I would say too.
But then there would also be, of course, a public process, between all the harbor peer users. We would post it in meetings, host forums. There can be a lot of, and I think about the harbor committee here might have fewer things to review and update because the peer regs have a very, devoted audience who closely follows the regs. And so
generally my idea for the process would be that we form a subcommittee. The subcommittee goes through, edits, and proposes certain changes. We have a public hearing where those changes are presented and we get feedback from the public on those changes and also any other potential changes. And then with that feedback, the subcommittee would make additional changes or different changes. And then the full committee would review that. And then that's what we would submit.
Can I be on that subcommittee too, please?
Yeah.
Can I chime in for 2 seconds on
Yeah.
the point? I believe one of the reasons we had been doing it jointly and it had been done in the past, if I understand it correctly, was because our job is harbor access and making sure that it's utilized properly, and the Pier Corp is managing the pier. And there's so much overlapping, like the dinghy dock is tied in with access harbor to the pier. That's their access point in. And if I understood, that's why we were doing these things this way, is because there's so much overlapping, and those two groups really had to learn to work together. I might be misremembering it, but I remember going to those joint meetings for those reasons. And that's why the harbor committee was weighing in on such things, because chapter 91 access to the harbor also involves the pier and the boats coming in and where to tie up and where not to tie up and where to beach boats. So I think we can continue to work with the pier committee as well when it comes to these, because our input is as important as what they want to do. They want to make bucks. We want to give everyone access.
So then what I would recommend, just to do it like by the books in terms of committee wise, I would say we form 2 subcommittees. One which only has harbor committee members, and that would be a subcommittee to edit the harbor regs. And then we would have another subcommittee that's a joint subcommittee of harbor and pier. And it would likely have the same people from harbor, but then there would be additional members from pier. I don't think it makes sense for the pier commission to be involved in the harbor regs, but it makes sense for the harbor committee to be involved in the pier regs. So that's how I would see it.
I think you're spot on.
And I think we would need Michaela here to actually, because we would also need to vote on forming those committees. So it's a whole thing. But I think that is what would make sense then if we form 2 committees. And it might be all the same people on both from harbor, but then one of the committees would need people from pier too. And so to make it actually work, pier would then need to nominate and vote on people from their committee to join.
I mean, I'm on both. I'll bring it up to the pier as well.
Okay.
And I'm an alternate for both, so that I can be a conduit for that.
Yeah. Okay.
I was just going to ask who would like to consult with our friends on the peer committee to see if they're also talking about this. And, I would love to make a committee to committee connection in the appropriate way to move the discussion forward. So it sounds like we have that person in Michael. I was just making boxes to show that we're gonna have, anyway. Harbor management plan. So first, I want to state for the record, I think we've lost Marty. Dang. I'll send him this part of the recording. I want to say for the record that Marty has been an incredible resource and very thorough, invested a lot of time in bringing me up to speed on the current nature of the harbor management plan, which is an annual plan by which we as a town, as a whole town, get to inform the state about our priorities. And that then the state reviews it with us, blesses it, and then the state looks to that plan when they are reviewing and approving all sorts of things related to our interactions with them. So the harbor management plan is a powerful planning tool by which we get to have wide-ranging input on every 10 years of the harbor's development. And so it's very thorough because it is a formal document that the state locks down, and then they want it not to change, except for the 10-year review periods. So it's up in 2028, and we're starting the review process now. Just to level set for folks who, like me, were not here the last time the harbor management plan was promulgated. That's the most important thing that I've learned so far, is its importance and its utility to us as our voice to help our friends at the state regulate us in the way we wish to be regulated, etc. That said, there's a lot to it, and Marty's been great about getting me up to speed. He and I meet multiple times a week on this topic, and we are putting together kind of a more formal presentation for you for the next meeting.
Great.
Any questions so far? Awesome. That is everything in my my section, and I'm happy to, of course, stay here and take questions. And let me put the rest of the agenda on screen just for our convenience.
Yeah, so I think for just talking about potential agenda items for next meeting, I think we should vote to, next meeting, we should vote to form the committees. And then we can also, after we vote to form those committees, we can also nominate and vote for who we want on those committees. And I mean, Mike, at your next peer meeting, you guys could also vote to form the joint one and nominate people. I think that's fine with procedure if we just both vote to form the committee. I don't think it really matters. So that should definitely be on the agenda for next time so we can get that process underway. Does anyone have anything else they want on the agenda for next time?
I'd like to re-add the Chapter 91 discussions.
Mm-hmm.
I know in the past it's been kind of a hot button topic. It's been passed off. I'd like to see where we stand and also maybe continue. I know we started talking about the big ones to hit, but also maybe just identifying all the access points, maybe breaking it down, all the licenses that are out there that have access to the harbor or are supposed to have access, and just verify that that's happening. I know we had talked about maybe looking at who we should be asking to get Chapter 91 licenses. Maybe we could work backwards the other way and look at the licenses that are already issued.
Yeah.
And just verify that. So I don't know, we had originally talked about like everyone taking a small section of streets, addresses. I'd like to re-bring that up because I feel like it's something that got lost in the mix and I don't really know where we stand on that.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, the first couple of meetings we had as a new harbor committee, that was like the primary focus for some reason, and then it just kind of got lost. So I definitely think that makes sense. I don't know I don't know how much it matters, but the DPW director was a big part of those discussions at the start. I don't know if we want to ask him to be a part of our next meeting for Chapter 91 reasons, but we can leave that up to you, Pete. The other thing, obviously I assume if Nick can come to the next one for the budget update, we can just move that to the next agenda.
Yes. Yep.
Because I think also in terms of us allocating any money for dinghy dock signs or anything like that, we want to be able to make those decisions pretty soon. So just to have an idea of what money we have to work with would be great.
Mm-hmm.
Any other potential agenda items?
I don't think this is an agenda item. It's a question on a former action item. The past harbor master prior to Pete, I believe, was going to address Anchorage in the in reference to the West End breakwater.
No,
I believe it's going to come up in the Chapter 91 discussion, and I'm not sure where that fell, but I have been down there a lot this spring and noticed that barge has lines up. There's people going by it. I just wanted to put it back on the radar that maybe we could address the proper procedures and maybe when it's going to be out of there. It's an impediment to people that want to access the beach and the harbor from that point. And then maybe addressing where that could be better placed, maybe in the fall if they're going to use that area as storage.
This is the large kind of floating structure with 2 levels and black pontoons.
Yes, sir. It's and the reason I think it's, I don't want to make a big stink because it's just storage for the winter, but it's now springtime and it's above the high water mark and dragged up. So I think at this point it would be classified as debris, but we know exactly what it is, and the lines crisscrossing and running up, it's not easy to get by. And personally, like, I go by there all the time, and that's how we access our farm a lot. And when people are there, you just see them looking at it. It's the first thing they see. They pull into the rotary and they're like, what the frick is this? So I don't know if that's the best welcome to the West End. And here's this beautiful park we paid all this money to have. And there's the breakwater. And then there's, okay, climb over 75 ropes or whatever, that's an exaggeration. But to get to the beach. And that's a really nice beach access point as well.
I can certainly look into it. Does anyone who has more history know the background or have an idea if it's going to be moved soon?
Can I say something?
Mm-hmm.
Historically, that's where all the floats used to be stored throughout the last, at least my whole life. I don't know if they've been pulled up the beach that far above the high water mark, but they used to be anchored there. There was probably about 20 or 30 of them back in the day. And right now it kind of whittled down to a few, like Marcy's float, and then the other one, which is Jimmy Silva's, I believe. And yeah, and Elizabeth Warren came by today and read my Chapter 91 blurb, and I thought that was pretty funny. So there you go. There's my 2 cents.
Oh, that's cool.
So people do read it apparently.
Noah, out of curiosity, I think in the past they've been started really close to where the other floats are and worked their way across. I don't recall them ever being that high up on the beach. And I mean, I know for years there've been a ton of them down there. I'm just curious if that seems to be way further up and kind of,
yeah,
maybe correct me if I'm wrong.
Kind of shifted a lot. I mean, it used to have a big sandbar towards the Provincetown end that everyone tried to leave it on at that moon high tide, so it wasn't floating around all winter, and it was pretty protected from every angle from the wind in the wintertime. So I believe he just did what was easiest with his excavator probably and pulled it up there. I mean, I'm sure you could just tell him not to put it there and move it over or something else. I'm sure he'd be fine with it. So
cool.
Yeah.
And I have to ask, did you think you were in compliance with your Chapter 91?
I think I am. Yeah, I mean, I read through it and all the stuff. I'm supposed to have a 10-foot right of way and a blurb about the history and all that good stuff. And if you want to come by and check it all out, buddy, I'm glad to show you around. Me and the harbor master went through it when he came by when I first met him. So I think we're doing pretty good.
Thanks for doing that. I know that was a big endeavor when you did it. So we appreciate the effort you put into
I put in some doggy pickup bags and that kind of stuff at each of the landings there, and they have a set of stairs that are nice to walk up, and there's signage up and all that stuff on both sides of the property. So I think it's pretty good. And Elizabeth Warren was quite nice. So
She was quite nice.
Did you get a
Little
picture of her
conversation
next
with
to the sign, Noah? That's like
No, I
that's
should've.
the
I was
ultimate
there forever.
endorsement.
No, exactly. No, I didn't. I should have. I didn't want to bother her with that. So
Well,
But,
when we
yeah,
do our Chapter 91 review, we both need to find the folks who have not achieved this, level of compliance and celebrate
Well, I
those
think-
who have.
I think the
And I
hard
think
part
the
you guys are
celebration
gonna
part.
have-
What's that?
I believe the hard part you're going to have is that the access to the Chapter 91 licenses for every different property is different, and the conditions are different. So there's a lot of
Yes.
people that, you know what I mean? So like, you really are going to have to get someone to read through it and walk the property and just comply with the conditions that are on there. And every one of them I've seen has been a little different. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
still learning a lot about it. And as I understand the process is, the state and the town, when the license is initially written, which is now many, many, many years ago for many of them, it's very, the conditions for compliance relate strongly to exactly how the property is situated in the Commonwealth tidelands, and the public benefit, negotiation that is struck is not only related to the geographical situation, but also the situation in time. What did the town want at that time? And as we've seen with the Provincetown Marina effort, where the license was the current license was initially issued with a harbor walk in mind. It might have made sense at the time. It might not make sense now, but the nature of the inertia of these things will present many opportunities to learn more and try to do better. But I certainly can't promise. And just for background, the way that the town enforces Chapter 91 is by flagging for our colleagues at the state that something is out of compliance. The town actually does not have legally an enforcement mechanism where the license stipulates that the property owner will pay the town or pay, part of the public benefit they're providing is a payment in lieu of access. The town does issue those invoices. Those invoices are payable to the town's special fund that Nick is going to walk us through next time. And so that's a mechanism for those payments in lieu of other access that we can keep a close eye on as a town. But I think, Michael, you're very right to flag that the first step is to understand it and to read them and to check them and see where we all are. And then we go from there. So,
not to get too far ahead of it, but we've talked about NOAA. I know Finesi's is another great example. They have a sign up that says, is there maybe like a community post, a town post that can go up that at least starts the conversation? Like, this is Chapter 91. Thank you to Flyers and NOAA for putting it up here and a picture of it. And then even just a quick, are you Chapter 91 compliant? Because if someone doesn't know about it, what are they going to do? So I think even getting people to maybe think about it. I know a lot of people love the community page, but maybe like a town posting from your department at polling, and then we can celebrate. I mean, I think we had talked about maybe doing like a Chapter 91 access walk where there's like a guided walk through town and a little.
Oh, I love that idea.
Hand out cupcakes at the entrance to the heart. I don't know, something fun. But there are people like, and I know Noah's a perfect example at the boatyard because that was a big endeavor. It was a lot. I can't imagine it was cheap. So I know Paul, that wasn't cheap either. But we need to celebrate those people that are putting them in, and maybe starting with just a general update as to what is Chapter 91. Read it here on our town page. Are you part of it? And let people start to find it out, because maybe if we just inform the public, they'll start to figure it out. And maybe someone's going to be like, oh shit, I have a Chapter 91 license. Maybe I should become compliant and start there and do it themselves. So maybe some self-policing through education. And then we can start to walk around, and the people that aren't compliant or aren't creating the access, we can make a list and that can get kicked up the chain. But why make it a situation of enforcement when we can do a simple education first?
I think that's very well, like you've hit the nail on the head, and that I think the biggest barrier is that Chapter 91 can be a confusing topic and folks are unaware of it. I'll say that there's layers of important audiences in this topic. The most important audience are the property owners themselves, and there are 400 total potential of those individuals, and we have their contact info. We know them because they own property in town, right? And so I think when the right time to use something as broad as a Facebook community post is when we have made an initial contact attempt with these property owners to inform them of their license and what it contains, via a letter, via a friendly knock on the door, via phone call, via all three. And then I think the community space is a great place to do celebration, have a walk, all that kind of thing. I think it's gentler to reach out individually to the property owners, and 400 is a large number, but it's not so large, especially if we anticipate folks having to make changes to their property that they weren't planning on or anticipating, just because this is one of those arcane corners of mass law. So I totally hear you, Michael. I would ask or suggest that committee members help us, help me. Dan might be able to help and put some hours into this as well. Let's get ourselves, there's a list online and there's a website. There's a part of our town website, which I'll send y'all a link to, that does list every license that we know of and that we have. And so I'd love to get our ducks in order there, so that we don't alarm folks, with communication before we're ready. But I totally hear you. When we're ready, let's go broad.
Let's see. Any other potential agenda items? All right. Yeah. You say no, Maria?
I said no.
All right. Okay. So item 6 is discuss last season's activities and solicit ideas for coming season. That's kind of broad. I think we can kind of lump that together with any other business. Anything else we want to talk about? I think we have a good agenda set up for next meeting. Is there anything else we want to cover today? Pete, anything else from you?
No, so what you see on my screen now is the agenda for next meeting, and I'm happy to we'll hold it in person as well for those who want to come to Caucus Hall at Town Hall. And I'm to avoid the problem I caused this time, I will send this right after this meeting to have it posted. Actually, let me circulate it with Michaela, of course.
Yeah.
And get her feedback on it, and then we'll get it posted Monday or Tuesday. So we've got the full week and a half.
Post to submit it. One other thing we can put on the agenda is just discussing a potential change in meeting time. I think we should have that as a review purpose anyways. Should have that just because we're going from the off season into the summer. We might as well see if there's a better time anyways, now that everyone's schedule is changing. And if not, that's okay, but we should at least have the conversation.
Yep.
So added, and we'll have Michaela review as well.
Okay. Does anyone have anything else? Nope.
Nope.
Does anyone want to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All right. I guess we'll do roll call because I can't see all of you. So Michael.
Yes.
Maria.
Yes.
Jennifer.
Yes.
Mia.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Thank you, everyone. Hopefully we can get in contact with Michaela. But if it's in, I think she might actually be in town next time we have it, so it'll be in person. All right.
Thank you.
Have
Thank
a good
you.
one.
Nice meeting everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, Ann.